Some people say the acts we perform in this video are generous, but call it what you want. Charitable, magnanimous, beneficent, doesn't matter to me. What I can say is because there are so many quarterbacks I like on this slate, we will be doing 3 bonus lineups for the Week 12 main. Let's go. You're watching The Perfect Lineup, where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, look to build out a beauty, take down a tournament with something from this video right here. Of course, I'll lay the foundation, build out the core, the groundwork, and then Josh will take it to the single lineup sims, let it do the rest of the work, and see where we land. Of course, you guys know the drill. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that hype button if it's available. Goes a long way for us. But more than anything, if you are looking to get a free month, not a week, a free month of Sims Max NFL, that's what, $200 value. Leave a comment down below. Got a good one for you this week with who you think is going to be the highest DraftKings point scoring only on the main slate tight end. Here's the best part. Many of you guys are going to say Trey McBride, but I think this slate is littered with quality tight ends. We're about to see if someone solo ships a month of NFL Max Sims. Just leave that comment down below. Show us some love, and let's get to the lineups. All right, number 1 here. This is a fun one because the Kansas City Chiefs are coming off of a pretty brutal loss. You know, this is now a 5-5 football team, right? The Houston Texans got to win. They're 6-5. Why do I mention that? Because there's a lot of teams vying for a playoff spot in the AFC right now. Going into Thursday Night Football, there were 10 teams at 5-5, so 500 or better. And the Kansas City Chiefs are one of them. They're on the outside looking in. Not only that, they are third in their own division behind the Broncos and then the Chargers. Woo, who would have thought? But I'll tell you this much. They've dealt with some injuries throughout the year, you know, even missing some offensive linemen. But of course, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. It's been a steep hill to climb. And now you got a pretty tough matchup this week because Charvarius Ward is expected to come off the IR and Sauce Gardner is now in Indianapolis. But I got to tell you, I actually think this matchup, I'm not saying it's easy. I do think it's a little easier than last week because the one difference is that the Broncos can just bring 4 and destroy you with pressure and get you off your game. And Patrick Mahomes is the type of guy that, you know, he doesn't need a clean pocket, but he needs the ability to move a little bit and improvise and create open men downfield. I think he can actually do that this week. Now, the way I want to play this, because at the end of the day, we could say anything we want about, man, this is a brutal matchup. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs have to face 2 elite corners, all of which I'd agree with. But I still can't ignore the fact that they have a 27-point total in this game, right? This game has a big total itself. So if you're taking a look at it and you're saying, all right, well, they have a 27-point total. It's one of the highest on the slate. The game has a 50.5-point total, and the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. Then maybe it would be wise for a team with a very limited running game to boot that we should be looking to stack some of them. So I'm going to throw Rashee Rice in there. Do I think Xavier Worthy's viable? Sure, I do. In large field tournaments, absolutely. But I want Travis Kelce here as well. We're seeing a bit of a resurgence from him. He's clearly one of the favored targets for Mahomes in the red zone. And I think, you know, if there were actually one spot they'd want to exploit, Travis Kelce in the middle of the field might be the guy. We're also going to run it back with Alec Pierce. Why, you may ask? Greg mentioned this to me on one of our strategy shows earlier in the week. Highly suggest you check them out. If you've come in to find us simply from this perfect lineup video, we do live shows that you can then watch after the fact almost every day of the week for every slate, including NBA as well. But I look at this and go, man, he's right. He had mentioned that he was getting more work, so I dig into it and I find out that Alec Pierce leads the team in target share with 26% over the last 4 games. 59% air yards. You might say, who cares about air yards? They're prayer yards. Sure, but it means that you're getting opportunities downfield. And in DFS, we just need 1. So I think that's actually a really unique way to go about it, aside from a Pittman or a Downs or a Warren. And Jonathan Taylor's $10,000 on DraftKings this week. It's a really tough price point to get to at a deep running back position. I do want to mix this up a little bit because the Mahomes, Rice, Kelce, and Pierce double stack with the Pierce run back, I do think is going to be relatively popular. Now, you guys can play this however you want, but there is one guy I just wanted to talk about, so we're going to throw him into this lineup. What about Kenneth Walker? What about the fact that, you know, guys like Alvin Kamara coming off a 25-touch game prior to the bye, Chase Brown obviously looks great. We're going to end up having a lot of him with P. Ryan doubtful. But, a lot of other guys down there, whether it's Kareem Hunt in this spot, there's a lot of these 5K guys. No one's going to play Kenneth Walker this week, and he's a 13.5-point favorite against the Titans. I understand Jeffrey Simmons can clog things up, but every season there happens to be one game where, right? You guys are nodding your head in agreement, whether you're playing him or not. There's always that one game where Kenneth Walker goes nuclear and nobody plays it. I want to sprinkle a little bit on Walker, get a little over the field, which isn't going to be hard to do. And I think this could be a unique way to do this at a $5,400 price point. This won't sim out as well as if I put Emmanuel Wilson in. I understand that, but I still think it'll be positive and it'll make us very unique with a chalky overall game that has a 50.5-point total.
Back for another full week. I'm excited. This is a good start coming from Loughy, and I like the stack that we're looking at. We've got Mahomes, we've got Rashee Rice. They're not all that owned, which is a pretty appealing start. We get Alec Pierce on the run back at 7% ownership. We're slotting in Kenneth Walker at 6% ownership. I love this start, and I don't even think we've got great plays in it yet. All we have to do is click complete this lineup. We're not using any randomness. Loughy set us up perfectly here. We're going to be able to fill out with some of the best plays that we have for this lineup. And I think this is going to end up being the number one sim ROI lineup. I don't like giving out that prediction before I do the other two lineups, but I'm feeling pretty good. So we're going to click complete this lineup, and we're going to find out who the optimal plays are. We're going to run that through. And then maybe we might swap around it just in case. So let's see what we get first. We took on a bunch of ownership, but not in the way that I expected. Jahmyr Gibbs in 8,300. He's 27% owned. We get Michael Wilson at 20% owned, but that's going to be the pay down version. But Mike Gesicki's 8% owned at 2,600. We are punting tight end and then taking Trey McBride at 30. Finally, we fill it out. Saints D, 10% owned, 141 projection, 141 ownership. I like the synergy, but what does it actually look like? I think I'm going to end up being right here. 80%. Well, I'm going to round up Arkansas style. 79.4 sim ROI is 80% ROI. 0.3% chance to win. 38% cash rate. Loughy set us up perfectly. I have no notes. We're going to move it on to lineup number 2.
Number 2, yes, we're going with a triple stack here. And how can you blame me, man? Look, most weeks, triple stacks aren't going to flat out win every tournament. But the unique thing here is that with triple stacks in the NFL, playing in the DFS streets, so few people are willing to do them that when it does work out, you are on an island. There are so few people that you are competing with, right? When you go in with these chalky double stacks, everyone's doing it. But last week, DPAC 2, Stokastic subscriber and Sims user, because this is the clearest Sims lineup ever. Now our 4th Millie Maker winner of the season. What can I say, man? The tools have been crushing. And if you want to check them out, link is down below. Check it out for a week, a month, core or max. Or, of course, if you want to sign up through any of our sportsbook partners, follow their steps and literally get a month of the Sims for free, as many as you want, with that link in the description as well. So many ways to skin a cat here to get in on the tools, get in on the action, and start using the Sims. Single lineup sim, actual Sims, you name it. Every single tool is included for NFL. But, I mean, he took it down with Jacoby Brissett, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, and Greg Dortch. And then he had one kind of random piece that the Sims loved that last week. Many of you guys know this, Teteroa McMillan. It wasn't a crazy lineup. It was a popular Cardinals team, except instead of a double stack with Jacoby Brissett, he went triple. And then the Teteroa McMillan at very low ownership ended up taking down $1 million. So I want to go Jared Goff triples here. They're coming off a bad loss. And every time this team has come off a bad loss this year, what have they done? They've gone and smoked their opponent. They lost to the Packers. They crushed the Bears the following week. It was like 51-22. And then they lost to the Chiefs, and they come back and they hammer their opponent, the Tampa Bay Bucks. It was Baker Mayfield's worst game of the season. And then they lose another game to the Vikings, coming out of the bye at home. And then they destroy the Washington Commanders in Washington. Now they're coming off a bad loss in the cold, windy weather at Lincoln Financial Field. They're back home against the New York Giants without Jackson Dart. They could steamroll them in this spot, double-digit favorites. And when you look at last week without Sam Laporta, who is now on the IR, what happened? Well, 81% of Jared Goff's targeted passes went to Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Actually, Brown, Gibbs, and Jameson Williams in that order of hierarchy, right? I'm loading all of them in here. I'm going Gibbs, I'm going St. Brown, I'm going Jameson Williams. And this is where the Sims comes in big. I want to know if the Sims are going to get, like, what type of value we're going to get, and if this even works. Does it even make sense to load up on 2 very expensive pass catchers and then a high 5K pass catcher with Jared Goff? But I love them primed for a bounce back spot. Man, if you can't bounce back this week against the Giants, I don't know. Something may be wrong out there in Detroit. This is a spot I'm definitely going to take advantage of, especially after seeing our boy D-Pack take the Millie down with the Jacoby triple stack. The only difference is this triple stack you actually have to pay for. However, the Cardinals aren't capable of scoring 50 points in a game, and the Detroit Lions are. So I like that a lot.
This is a very different setup. Onslaught season against the Giants. 9% own Jared Goff. Chalk Jahmyr Gibbs, no surprise in this matchup. Chalk Amon-Ra St. Brown, no surprise in this matchup. And it's not like Jameson Williams is lightly owned at 16%. We've spent a lot of salary, and we've taken on a pretty good chunk of ownership. But this is the best matchup you're going to find. I just don't know how we're going to fill this lineup out, but if we're talking about trying to win a milli, maybe this is the start we need. Well, some of these names look familiar. Wilson, Gesicki, McBride, Saints D. We're bringing that along for the ride from the first lineup. We also add Emmanuel Wilson at 5,300, 144.7 projection, 170 ownership. So we are up 3.5 points in projection, but also up 29 in ownership. I have no idea where this is going. And we didn't even get through the second lineup before I end up being aggressively wrong. 128 sim ROI, maybe the highest number we've ever had on this video series. 0.4% chance to win, 45% cash rate. I don't know what Loughy's on right now, but Lions Onslaught, whoo, that might be the path to victory.
Our third and final perfect lineup, I mentioned at the top. I'm going to do 3 Tails exclusive bonus lineups this week. I might honestly do 4 because there are so many other spots I like. There are multiple stacks that I think stand out in a huge way, and we just aren't going to keep you here for another 20 minutes. So I'm going to build them out. I'm going to run the sims. I'm going to post them all over on Tails. You can check them out for yourself. If you're not on Tails yet, links down there. Tails.bet. Just follow Josh. Follow me. Or do the wise thing. Download the app and just search us up, Loughy and Josh Engleman, or just type in Josh. You can't miss us. Follow us. Turn on notifications. Not only is all of this DFS content free all season long, all of our exclusive lineups for every perfect lineup video, but all of my bets, all of Josh's bets, and bets from hundreds of other sharp people are free. Why go on Twitter for it anymore? Why go anywhere else? Come here, check out the leaderboards, find who's crushing, tail them, follow them. All of that good stuff is right there. I'll have 3 exclusive lineups on Tails over there on Friday night. All right. We're going Drake May. I didn't know what to do here because there's so many other spots I want to play, but we're going to go Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Hunter Henry. I wish Kayshon Boutte wasn't back yet. He is, unfortunately. It is what it is, though. I mean, this is honestly another spot. Tell me you guys disagree, right? Where I could genuinely see a New England triple stack winning everything. I think I might want some New England triple stacks here. It just sucks because who is the other triple? I want to go with Diggs and I want Hunter Henry because the Bengals have been so bad against tight ends. I mean, no team has allowed more than 7 touchdowns to tight ends. The Bengals have allowed 8. They're an absolute sieve in the middle of the field. And Hunter Henry does, believe it or not, have 2 touchdown upside. Diggs is coming off a 100-yard game against the Jets. That was without Kayshon Boutte. I assume Kyle Williams goes back to a reserve role here, and Demario Douglas continues to play his 20% of snaps or so. But that would be the main reason we're only getting the doubles and not triples. It's because it's weird. They spread it out past all of these guys, and you're really banking on a deep shot to a Boutte or a Douglas, and not sure I want to do that. But I do want to run it back with Chase Brown. I have to mention him in this video. It would be, a miscarriage of justice to not do so. Because in the 2 games P. Ryan has missed, he played 1 snap before getting hurt 2 games ago, so I'm including that. Chase Brown has 25 plus opportunities, so targets plus rushing attempts in both of them. All right, seriously insane work, like 52 total opportunities, 51. Taj Brooks, meanwhile, has 2 total touches over that span and not a single target. So whether you love the matchup or not is almost irrelevant. It does look like Joe Burrow could be back, which is a boon for Chase Brown, no doubt about it. T. Higgins could absolutely be dealing with, by the way, a lot of Christian Rodriguez, which is not good, or Christian Gonzalez, sorry, and that's what we're going to get. So if that is the case, I could see a full-out game stack here making a lot of sense.
Now we've got a very traditional lineup, but not all that much ownership. Drake May, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, very clean stack. 10% owned, 8% owned, 8% owned. But that's natural. Quarterback, 2 pass catchers, bring it back with Bengals running back. Now Chase Brown, 6,200, 30% owned. We're getting chalk, but we can take that on with this Patriots lineup. So now we're going to fill this out, and I think it's going to be exceptional. The first lineup was great. The second lineup was as good as it gets. Will we find a third lineup that ranks in the same way? Let's find out. Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Wilson, Gesicki, Saints D. Some of this stuff looks pretty similar, but the Gibbs-St. Brown combo on the way back after what we just saw, could this be it? And we don't knock it out of the park, but we still have an exceptional lineup. 70% sim ROI, 0.2% chance to win, 40% cash rate. I think Loughy set us up about as well as we could have hoped. These are 3 massive lineups, and that middle one, the meat in the sandwich, that's as good as it gets. One way or the other. Lineup 1, lineup 2, lineup 3, it doesn't matter. They are all perfect. All right, just 4 of you were able to get Devin Achane last week to be the leading rusher, and he didn't exactly have an exceptional rushing game, but 4 of you got it. So we're going to spin the wheel right now. Whoever this lands on, when you see your name pop up, take a screenshot of what you see. Email support@stokastic.com. That's how you're going to claim it. And you, ThinkHouse89, are the winner. So do what I just said. Screenshot, email support@stokastic.com, claim your free week.